Love is a recurrent theme in William Shakespeare's writing. His plays are filled with a wide variety of depictions of romantic relationships. For some of Shakespeare's characters, love is deep and all-consuming. For others, it's superficial and fleeting. Despite the fact that Shakespeare's plays were written over 400 years ago, much of his writings still feel relevant today. Shakespeare's language may seem old-fashioned to a modern audience, but Shakespeare's depictions of love still resonate. William Shakespeare strived to show the true nature of romantic love as his characters endeavor to overcome obstacles to win the affections of their beloved. A common theme in Shakespeare's plays is unrequited love. In A Midsummer Night's Dream, Helena is desperately in love with Demetrius. He has no interest in Helena, but instead loves her friend Hermia. To make matters worse, Hermia is in love with Lysander, and the two have decided to elope. Helena tries to curry favor with Demetrius by revealing that Hermia has run away with Lysander into the woods. When Demetrius chases after Hermia, Helena is close behind.
Godspeed, fair Helena. Whither away?
Call you me fair? That fair again unsay. Demetrius loves your fair. Oh, happy fair. Your eyes are lodestars, and your tongue sweet air more tunable than lark to shepherd's ear, when wheat is green, when hawthorn's buds appear. Sickness is catching. Oh, were favor so, yours would I catch, fair Hermia, ere I go. My ear should catch your voice, my eye your eye, my tongue should catch your tongue, sweet melody. Were the world mine, Demetrius being baited, the rest I'd give to be to you translated. Oh, teach me how you look, and with what art you sway the motion of Demetrius' heart.
I frown upon him, yet he loves me still.
Oh, that your frowns could teach my smile such skill.
I give him curses, yet he gives me love.
Oh, that my prayers could such affection move.
The more I hate, the more he follows me.
The more I love, the more he hateth me.
His folly, Helena, is no fault of mine.
None, but your beauty. Would that fault were mine.
Take comfort. He no more shall see my face. Lysander and I shall fly this place. Before Lysander seemed Athens as a paradise to me, and upon what my good love do dwell, he hath turned a heaven unto a hell. And in the wood, where often you and I upon faint primrose beds were wont to lie, emptying our bosoms of their counsel sweet, there my Lysander myself shall meet, and thence turn our eyes from Athens to seek new friendship in stranger companies. Farewell, sweet playfellow. Pray thou for us, and good luck grant thee thy Demetrius.
How happy some, or where other some can be. Through Athens, I am thought as fair as she. But what of that? Demetrius thinks not so. He will not know what all but he do know. Love can transpose to form and dignity. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind. Nor hath love's mind of any judgment taste, wings and no eyes figure unheedy haste. And therefore is love said to be a child, because in choice he is so oft beguiled, as waggish boys in games themselves forswear. So the boy love is perjured everywhere. For ere Demetrius looked on Hermia's eyne, he hailed down oaths that he was only mine. And when this hail some heat from Hermia felt, so he dissolved, and showers of oaths did melt. I will go tell him of fair Hermia's flight. Then to the woods will he tomorrow night pursue her. And for this intelligence, if I have thanks, it is a dear expense. But herein mean I to enrich my pain, to have his sight thither and back again.
I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where is Lysander and fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, and the other slayeth me. Thou toldst me they were stolen into this wood, and here I am in wood within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia. Hence, get thee gone, and follow me no more.
You draw me, you hard-hearted adamant, but yet you draw not iron, for my heart is true as steel. Leave you your power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not in plainest truth tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you?
And even for that do I love you the more. I am your spaniel, and Demetrius, the more you beat me, I will fawn on you. Use me, but as your spaniel. Spurn me, strike me, neglect me, lose me, only give me leave, unworthy as I am, to follow you. What worser place can I beg in your love, and yet a place of high respect with me, than to be used as you use your dog?
Do not tempt the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look on thee.
And I am sick when I look not on you.
I'll run from thee and hide me in the brakes and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts.
The wildest have not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed. Apollo flies and Daphne holds the chase. The dove pursues the griffin. The mild hind makes speed to catch the tiger. Bootless speed when cowardice pursues and valor flies.
I will not stay thy questions. Let me go. Or, if thou shalt follow me, do not believe, but I shall do thee mischief in the wood.
Aye, in the temple, in the town, in the field, you do me mischief. Feed, Demetrius, your wrongs do set a scandal on my sex. We cannot fight for love as men may do. We should be wooed, and we're not made to woo.
Many of the couples in Shakespeare's plays need a little help finding their way to a happy relationship. In All's Well That Ends Well, Helena, an orphan who was raised by the Countess of Rosalind, has fallen in love with Count Bertram. Once the Countess learns of Helena's feelings for her son, she happily helps Helen win the Count's love.
I know, madame. You love your gentlewoman entirely.
Faith I do. Her father bequeathed her to me, and she without any other advantages may lawfully make title to as much love as she finds. There is more owing her than has been paid, but more shall be paid in her than she'll demand.
Madame, I was very late, more near than I think she wished me. Alone she was, and did communicate to herself her own words to her own ears. She thought they touched not any stranger's sense. Her matter was, she loved your son. Fortune, she said, was no goddess that had put such difference betwixt their two estates. Love no god that would not extend his might, only where qualities were level. This she delivered in the most bitter touch of sorrow, which I held my duty speedily to acquaint you withal. Sit hence in the loss that may happen. It concerns you something to know it.
You discharge this honestly. Keep it to yourself. Many likelihoods informed me of this before, which hung so tottering in the balance that I can neither believe nor misdoubt it. Pray you leave me. Stole it in your bosom, and I thank you for your honest care. I will speak with you further anon.
What is your pleasure, madam?
You know, Helen, I'm a mother to you.
Mine honorable mistress.
Nay, a mother? Why not a mother? When I said a mother, methought you saw a serpent. What's in a mother that you start at? I say I am your mother. Does it curd thy blood to say I am thy mother? What's the matter? Why? That you are my daughter?
That I'm not.
I say I am your mother.
Pardon me, madam. The Count Rosalind cannot be my brother. I am from humble, he from honored name. No note upon my parents, his all noble. My master, my dear lord he is, and I his servant live, and will his vessel die. He must not be my brother.
Nor I, your mother?
You are my mother, madam. Would you were, that the Count were not my brother. Indeed, my mother, or you both are mothers, I care no more than I do for heaven, that my lord, your son, so that I were not his sister. Can't no other, he must be my brother?
Yes, Helen. You might be my daughter-in-law. God shoot, you mean it not? Daughter and mother so strive upon your pulse? What, pale again? My fear hath catch your fondness. Now I see the mystery of your loneliness, and find your salt to his head. Now to all sense 'tis gross. You love my son. Speak, is it so? Tell me truly.
Good madam, pardon me.
Do you love my son?
Pardon me, noble mistress.
Love you my son?
Do not you love him, madam?
Go not about. My love hath in a bond wherefore the world takes note. Come, come, disclose the state of your affections, to which your passions have to the full appeached.
Then I confess, here on my knee, before high heaven and you, and that before you and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends were poor, but honest, so is my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him until I do deserve him, yet never know how that desert should be. I know I love in vain, and strive against hope, yet in this captious and untenable sieve, still the waters of my love pour. My dearest madam, oh, then give pity to her whose state is such that she cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose. That seeks to not find where her search implies, but riddle-like lives sweetly where she dies.
My Helen, thou shalt have my leave and love. What I can help thee to, thou shalt not miss.
Shakespeare's characters sometimes use trickery to bring a couple together. In Much Ado About Nothing, Beatrice and Benedict seem like a good match, as both are witty and smart. However, both are stubborn and too proud to admit that they are in love. Beatrice's cousin, Hero, decides to play a trick designed to bring Beatrice and Benedict together. Hero and Ursula have a loud conversation that Beatrice overhears, where they falsely proclaim that Benedict is in love with Beatrice. Upon hearing this exchange, Beatrice decides that she loves Benedict.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, Let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matters little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars, the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new-trothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with his affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Why did you so? Doth the gentleman not deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
O God of love! I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on. Her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape, nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. Therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. Why, if fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved by none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is. But who dare tell her so? Should I speak, why she would mock me into air. She would laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedict, like covered fire, waste inwardly, consume away in sighs. It were a better death than die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No. Rather, I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slander to sustain my cousin with. One doth not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always accepted by my dear Claudio.
I pray you, be not angry with me, madam. Speaking my fancy, Signor Benedict, for shape, argument, bearing, and valor, goes foremost in report throughout Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it, ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day, tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is the best to furnish me with tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hands. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Love isn't always simple in Shakespeare's plays. Though Hero's trick works, and Beatrice and Benedict finally admit they love each other, Beatrice refused to be in a relationship with him. Benedict's friend, Claudio, was engaged to Hero, but at their wedding, Claudio falsely accused Hero of being unfaithful, ruining her reputation. Beatrice feels she must stand up for her cousin and insists that Benedict kill Claudio to avenge Hero's honor.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely, I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
How much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say, I love nothing so well as you, but believe me not, and yet I lie not, I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I'm sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I'll make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest, I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You've stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest, I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that there is nothing left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Ah! Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in height a villain, that hath slandered, scorned, and dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then, with public accusation, uncover slander, unmitigated rancor? Oh, God, that I were a man. I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged. She is slandered. She is undone. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood has melted into curtsies, valor into compliment. Men are turned only into tongues, and trim ones too. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore, I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand, I love thee.
Use it for my love some way other than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I pledge my love, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go. Comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
Many of Shakespeare's plays include characters falling in love at first sight. In As You Like It, Orlando and Rosalind fall in love instantly, despite never speaking to each other. When Rosalind is exiled, she and her friend Celia decide to hide in the forest, dressed as men. They come across Orlando, who is lovesick for Rosalind. Rosalind decides to approach him, still dressed as a man, to see if his love for her is true or simply infatuation.
Didst thou hear how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees? Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck. Change you color.
I prithee, who?
It is young Orlando that tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil takes mocking. Speak, sad brow and true, maid.
If faith, cuz, 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas, the day. What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou saw'st him? What said he? How looked he? Does he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Looked he as freshly as the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn. There lay he, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee. It curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
Soft. Comes he not here?
'Tis he. Slink by and note him. I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave to him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well. Where dwell you, pretty youth?
Here in the skirt of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Your accent is something finer than can purchase in so remote a dwelling.
I have been told so of many, but indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me how to speak. I thank God I am not a woman, to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he has taxed their whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of the principal evils they laid to the charge of woman?
There were none principal.
I prithee, recount some of them.
Nay, I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There is a man haunts the forest that abuses our young plants, carving Rosalind into their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies upon brambles, all forsooth defying the name of Rosalind. Ha! If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love shaken. I pray you tell me your remedy.
There is none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love, in which cages of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not, a blue eye and sunken, which you have not, an unquestionable spirit, which you have not, a beard neglected, which you have not. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as to loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Very youth, I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is one of the ways in which women still give lie to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you he who hangs verses in the trees in which Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the fair hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Yes, one. And in this manner, he was to imagine me, his love, his mistress, and I said at him every day to woo me. At then, I would like him, then loathe him. Now entertain him, then forswear him, then weep for him, then spit at him. And thus I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, and thus I cured him.
I would not be cured, youth.
Shakespeare often shows that love at first sight is simply the opening for a more profound relationship. In The Tempest, Ferdinand is shipwrecked on an island whose inhabitants, Prospera and her daughter Miranda, haven't seen other humans in many years. When Miranda and Ferdinand fall instantly in love, Prospera decides to slow down their courtship by making Ferdinand her slave and forbidding Miranda from interacting with him. Prospera secretly watches as Miranda and Ferdinand develop a deep compassion for each other and is pleased that her plan has strengthened their bond.
There be some sports are painful, and the labor in them delight sets off. Some kinds of baseness are nobly undergone. This, my mean task, would be as heavy to me as odious, but the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead and makes my labors pleasures. My sweet mistress weeps when she sees me work. She says such baseness had never like executor, but I forget. Even these sweet thoughts do refresh my labors.
Alas, no, pray you, work not so hard. My mother's hard at study. Pray now, rest yourself. She's safe for these 3 hours.
Almost, dear mistress, the sun will set before I shall discharge what I must strive to do.
If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray, give me that. I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature. I'd rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you such dishonor undergo while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you, and I shall do it with much more ease, for my goodwill is to it, and yours it is against.
Poor worm, thou art infected. This visitation shows it. They are both in either's power, but this swift business I had too uneasy. Make less too light winnings. Make the prize light.
You look wearily.
Oh, no, noble mistress. 'Tis fresh morning with me when you're by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly if I may ask it in my prayers. What's your name?
Miranda. Oh, my mother, I have broken your hest to say it so.
Admired Miranda, indeed the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed in best regard, but you, oh you, so perfect, so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my sex, no woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own, and my dear mother. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend. How features are abroad, I am skilless of. But by my modesty, the jewel in my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you, nor can imagination form shape besides yourself to like of.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so. Even endure this wooden slavery than the flesh fly by my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very moment that I saw you did my heart race to your service, and there resides to make me a slave to it. And for your sake, am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to the sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly invert what best is boded me to mischief, I beyond all else in the world do love, prize, and honor you.
I'm a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Fair encounter of two most rare affections. Heavens rain grace on that which breeds between 'em.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness, that dare not offer what I desire to give, and much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence, bashful cunning prompt me plain and holy innocence. I'm your wife if you'll marry me.
My mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage ere freedom.
And now, farewell, till half an hour hence.
1,000,000.
So glad of this as they I cannot be, who are surprised withal, but my rejoicing at nothing can be more. If I have too austerely punished you, your compensation makes amends, for I have given you here a third of my own life, or that for which I live, who once again tender to thy hand. All thy vexations were but my trials of thy love, and thou hast strangely stood the test. Here, afore heaven, I ratify this my rich gift. O Ferdinand, do not smile at me that I boast of her, for thou shalt find she will outstrip all praise and make it halt behind her.
I do believe it, against an oracle.
Then as my gift, in thine own acquisition, worthily purchased, take my daughter.
And as I would hope for quiet days, fair issue, and long life, with such love as 'tis now, the murkiest den, the most opportune place, the strongest suggestion, our worser genius, shall never melt thine honor.
Fairly spoke. Sit then and talk with her. She is thine own.
Not all of Shakespeare's characters are open to love at first sight. In The Two Gentlemen of Verona, Lucetta tries to convince Julia that Proteus is the best of her suitors. Julia is unconvinced that he truly loves her, despite the love letter that he wrote for her.
But say, Lucetta, now we are alone. Wouldst thou then counsel me to fall in love?
Ay, madam, so you stumble not unheedfully.
Of all the fair resort of gentlemen that every day with parley encounter me, in thy opinion, which is the worthiest love?
Please you remind me their names. I'll show my mind according to my shallow, simple skill.
What thinkest thou of the fair Sir Eglamour?
Well, for a knight, he's well-spoken, elegant, and refined, but if I were you, I'd never have him.
What thinkest thou of the rich Mercatio?
Well, of his money, from himself, so-so.
What thinkest thou of the gentle Proteus?
Lord, Lord, to see what folly reigns in us.
How now? What means this passion at his name?
Pardon, dear madam, 'tis a passing shame that I, unworthy body as I am, should censure thus on lovely gentlemen.
Why not on Proteus, as of all the rest?
Then thus, of many good, I think him best.
Oh, your reason?
I've no other but a woman's reason. I think him so because I think him so.
And wouldst thou have me cast my love on him?
Aye, if you thought your love not cast away.
Why, he of all the rest hath never moved me.
Yet he, of all the rest, I think best loves ye.
His little speaking shows his love but small.
Fire that's closest kept burns most of all.
They do not love that do not show their love.
They love least that let men know their love.
I would I knew his mind.
Where's this paper, madam?
To Julia? Say, from whom?
That the contents will show.
Say, who gave it to thee?
Valentine's page, and sent, I think, from Proteus. He would have given it to you, but I, being in the way, did in your name receive it. Pardon the fault, I pray.
Now, by my modesty, a goodly broker. Dare you presume to harbor wanton lines, to whisper and conspire against my youth? Now, trust me, 'tis an office of great worth, and you an officer fit for the place. There. Take the paper, see it be returned, or else return no more into my sight.
To plead for love surely deserves more fee than hate.
Oh, will you be gone?
That you may ruminate.
And yet I'd overlooked the letter. It were a shame to call her back again and pray her to a fault for which I chide her. What a fool is she, that knows I'm a maid, and would not force the letter to my view. How churlishly I chide Lucetta hence, when willingly I would have had her here. How angrily I taught my brow to frown, when inward joy enforced my heart to smile. My penance is to call Lucetta back, and ask remission for my folly past. What ho! Lucetta! This babble shall not henceforth trouble me. Here is a coil with protestation. Go, get you gone, and let the papers lie. You would be fingering them to anger me.
She makes it strange, but she'd be best pleased to be so angered with another letter.
Nay, would I were so angered with the same. O hateful hands, to tear such loving words, injurious wasps, to feed on such sweet honey and kill the bees that yield it with your stings. I'll kiss each several paper for amends. Look, here is writ, kind Julia. Unkind Julia, as in revenge of thy ingratitude I throw thy name against the bruising stones, trampling contemptuously on thy disdain. And here is writ, love-wounded Proteus, poor wounded name, my bosom as a bed shall lodge thee till thy wound be thoroughly healed, and thus I search it with a sovereign kiss. Lo, here in one line is his name twice writ. Poor forlorn Proteus, passionate Proteus, to the sweet Julia. That I'll tear away. Yet I will not, sith so prettily he couples it to his complaining names. Thus I will fold them, one on another. Now kiss, embrace, contend, do what you will.
Julia was right to be wary of Proteus's proclamation of love. When Proteus's friend Valentine brags endlessly about his new love, Sylvia, Proteus begins to fall in love with Sylvia.
Now tell me, how do all from whence you came?
Your friends are well and have them much commended.
And how do yours?
I left them all in health.
How does your lady? How thrives your love?
My tales of love were wont to weary you. I know you join not in a love discourse.
Aye, Proteus, but that life is altered now. I have done penance for condemning love, whose high imperious thoughts have punished me with bitter fast, with penitential groans, with nightly tears and daily heart-soaked sighs. For in revenge of my contempt of love, love hath chased sleep from my enthralled eyes, and made them waters of mine own heart's sorrow. Gentle Proteus, love's a mighty lord, and hath so humbled me, as, I confess, there is no woe to his correction, nor no such joy on this earth. Now, no discourse, except it be of love. Now I can break my dying fast, sup, and sleep upon the very naked name of love.
Enough! I read your fortune in your eye. Is this the idol that you worshipped so?
Even she, and is she not a heavenly saint?
No, but she is an earthly paragon.
Call her divine.
I will not flatter her.
Oh, flatter me, for love delights in praises.
When I was sick, you gave me bitter pills, and I must minister the like to you.
Then speak the truth by her, if not divine, yet let her be a principality, sovereign to all the creatures on the earth.
Except my mistress?
Ha! Sweet, except not any, except thou wilt accept against my love.
Have I not reason to prefer mine own?
And I will help thee to prefer her too. She shall be dignified with this high honor, to bear my lady's train. Should her vesture chance to steal a kiss, of so great a favor growing proud, disdain to root the summer swelling flower, and make rough winter everlasting.
Why, Valentine, what braggartism is this?
Pardon me, Proteus, all I can is nothing to her whose worth makes other worthies nothing. She is alone.
Then let her alone.
Not for the world. Why, man, she is mine own, and I as rich as having a jewel such as 20 seas. If all the sand were pearl, the water nectar, and the rocks pure gold. Forgive me that I do not dream on thee, because thou seest me dote upon my love. My foolish rival, who her father likes only for his possessions are so huge, is gone with her along, and I must after, because love, thou know'st, is full of jealousy.
But she loves you?
Aye, and we are betrothed, nay, more our marriage hour. with all the cunning manner of our flight determined of, how I must climb her window, the ladder made of cords, and all the means plotted on to greet on for my happiness. Good Proteus, go with me to my chamber to aid me in these affairs with thy counsel.
Go on before. I shall inquire you forth. I must unto the road to disembark some necessaries I needs must use. Then I'll presently attend you.
Will you make haste?
I will. Even as one heat, another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another, so the remembrance of my former love by a newer object quite forgotten. Is it mine, or Valentine's praise? Her true perfection, or my false transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love. For now my love is thawed, which, like a waxen image gainst a fire, bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason why I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus without advice begins to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look upon her perfections, there is no reason but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her I'll use my skill.
In Hamlet, Shakespeare explores the ways in which personal trauma can affect one's ability to love. Hamlet's father dies, and his mother quickly remarries Hamlet's uncle. When Hamlet discovers that his father was murdered by his uncle, Hamlet is slowly consumed by his anger. That anger is particularly strong towards his mother, who he views as weak for moving on so quickly after being widowed. Though he had previously expressed love for Ophelia, he begins to see her, and all women, as deceitful, and wishes to ban marriage.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them? To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartaches and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come as we shuffled off this mortal coil must bring us pause. Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph in the horizons, be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again, for to the noble mind rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Ha ha ha. Are you honest? Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly, for the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than honesty can translate it to its likeness. This was sometimes a paradox, but now time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord. You made me believe so.
You should not have believed me, For virtue cannot inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse myself of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Trust none of us. Get thee to a nunnery. Go. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in own's house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee thy plague for thy dowry. Be as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Go, and quickly too. Farewell. Or, if thou needst marry, marry a fool, for wise men well know enough what monsters you make of them. Go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Heavenly powers restore him.
I have heard of your paintings too. God gives you one face and you make yourselves another. You dig and amble. You lisp. You nickname God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to. I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say, we shall have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me, to have seen what I have seen, to see what I see.
Even when a relationship ends in heartbreak, Shakespeare shows that love still has value. Though the relationship ends tragically for the title characters, their love is a bridge that brings together two warring families in Romeo and Juliet. After seeing each other from across the room at a party and falling instantly in love, Romeo sneaks up to Juliet's house to declare his love for her.
But soft, what light the under window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon. It is my lady, oh, it is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet says nothing. What of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Ay me.
She speaks. Speak again, bright angel.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or, if thou wilt not, be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other word, would smell as sweet. Romeo, doth thy name take all myself?
I take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I will be new baptized. Henceforth I will never be Romeo.
What man art thou that thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy of thee.
Art thou not Romeo and a Montague?
Neither, fair maid, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore? The orchard walls, they're high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art, if any of my kinsmen find thee here.
With love's light wings did I overperch these walls, for stony limit cannot hold love out.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
Alack, there lies more peril in thine eyes than 20 of their swords.
I would not for the world if they saw thee here.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their eyes, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life better ended by their hate than death prorogued, wanting of thy love.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden's blush bepaint my cheek, for which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke. But farewell compliment. Dost thou love me?
Lady, by blessed moon I vow.
Oh, swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, lest that thy love be likewise variable.
What shall I swear by?
Do not swear at all, or, if thou wilt, swear by thy gracious self, and I'll believe thee.
If my heart's dear love...
Well, do not swear. Although I joy in thee, I take no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning. Sweet good night, as sweet repose and rest cometh thy heart as that within my breast.
Oh, wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy love's faithful vow for mine.
I gave thee mine before thou didst request it, and yet I would it were to give again.
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. And yet I wish but for the thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite.
Oh, blessed, blessed night. I am afeard being in night. All of this is but a dream, too flattering sweet to be substantial.
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow, and all my fortunes at thy foot I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
So thrive my soul.
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times worse to want thy light.
Good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thine breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest.
There is rarely a true happy ending in Shakespeare's plays. Instead, Shakespeare presents a multidimensional and realistic, though dramatized, view of love. Shakespeare shows that love is not tangible. It is an emotion that can be perceived and expressed in many different ways. Despite many complications, Shakespeare seems to believe there is value in romantic relationships, a sentiment that still rings true today.